Ready? Play.
Hello everybody, I'm pleased to be joined today by the strength and conditioning and rehab coach for Dan Evans. And of course, it's a timely interview given Dan's travails, unfortunately, in Vienna, where he had to pull out or had to withdraw, had to retire, I should get the terminology right, from his match with Francis Tiafoe when he was leading 4-1 in Vienna. So I guess my first question, Kieron, has to be, what's the latest?
Yeah, so we had to wait. We waited 48 hours for the trauma to settle. So he obviously did it late Tuesday afternoon, and then Thursday 2 o'clock we had an MRI scan on the right calf, and unfortunately the prognosis wasn't very good. He's got a myotendinal tear to the gastroc medial head, which is basically the calf on the inside of the leg. At the myotendinal junction, so he's got about a 3.5 centimeter tear. So timeline for return to play is anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. But like a lot of these things, it all comes down to what one puts into it, the time, the discipline, the dedication, and Dan won't leave no stone unturned. So we've got a meeting with the sports doc on Tuesday at 10:30, and we will map out the best intervention plan for Dan, starting right away on Tuesday.
So his season is basically done, and with that, the Davis Cup, right?
Yeah. So obviously, the whole idea of the MRI scan was to kind of work out whether there was a chance of him making it, but with the prognosis, there's no chance. So
right,
Davis Cup of this is unrealistic, and what he doesn't want to do is rush back for Davis Cup and ruin next season.
Yeah, right, and really untimely, Kieron. Not just in terms of the fact that he was leading 4-1 against a top player like Francis, but of course winning in Washington recently, pushing Alcaraz in New York, which is a pretty mean feat, and of course playing well, right?
Yeah, I mean, every week he's hitting the ball harder. He's executing his patterns of play really well. And he's playing with freedom, which is one of the key things. And he's super focused, super charged for reaching his goals. And he played well in Asia. He just had bad draws. He played Sinner first round in Beijing, and in third round he played Alcaraz in Shanghai, which the whole match was pretty much a showreel. So the confidence is there. Against Tiafoe, he's playing unbelievable again. But these things are unfortunate. But there's no point crying over spilt milk. You brush yourself off and lace up your rehab boots and get back to work.
A lot has been made this year regarding the tennis balls and the variations and the changes. I think I saw something about 7 different tennis balls that Dan has had to sort of deal with at the different tournaments in recent weeks. I guess, though, in terms of this particular injury, it wouldn't be ball related, right?
No, not at all. This is just an unfortunate. It's angles of push off, etc. But the balls is an issue. Chengdu was one ball, Beijing another, Shanghai another, and then Stockholm different ball, Vienna a different ball, Paris a different ball. It's unacceptable, and the tour need to get a grip of it in terms of how they're going to sort this out, because all the balls have different pressures, different felts. And believe it or not, you can hit the same shot with different balls that have different trajectory, different flight path, different penetration. And it's like, I'm not saying there was one tournament in the last 6 weeks where they didn't tell us they used a different practice ball to match ball.
Oh wow!
It's just not right. Yeah, it's not right. It's not right at all. It's unfair on the players. And the ATP tour needs to get a grip of it and sort it out once and for all. You know, like I think they've got to get to a situation where if there's two tournaments leading up to a Masters series, you've got to be consistent with the ball that you're playing into the Masters series. You know, Wimbledon, all the grass courts tournaments use the Slazenger ball. And I know for a fact that Wimbledon give a substantial amount of money to all the grass court tournaments leading up to Wimbledon to make sure that the grass court standards are up to speed and they're using the same ball, etc., etc. So money is thrown at these tournaments so that they don't go and find another ball. Look, there has to be some middle ground because obviously these smaller tournaments, if a company is offering hundreds of thousands of dollars for them to be the official ball for the week, potentially a title sponsor, it's difficult for these smaller tournaments to turn it down. But the ATP needs to review it and they need to get a grip of it. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, right. Can you give us a bit of an explanation as to the casual observer or the casual player as to what the difference is or how these ball variations can have an impact on the tennis player's body?
Yeah, well, every ball could be at a different pressure. Number one, so you feel like you've really got to hit one ball harder than another because of the pressure. You've then got the vibration through the racket into the arm. Then if the ball is heavy, with especially when they've hit for probably 4 or 5 games and the balls fluff up, they get really heavy. There's a load and volume on the serve. So there's shoulder pathologies that are common with that. And elbow pathologies that are common with that. They just need to get a ball. They need to sort it out.
Regarding
because obviously then all these players are going into the training room and getting treatment for stuff that could be avoided. Yeah,
right. Regarding Dan and the timeline again, though, we're still possibly okay for Australia, I guess, with a sort of rough idea at the moment. I mean, things can change, of course, Kieron, but at the moment we're sort of looking at, you said 8 to 10 weeks. So therefore, the Australian Open
look, it's 29. It's 29 days to Davis Cup. So that's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there's probably another 10 weeks, another 6 weeks before 7 weeks before he'll play, because realistically he's going to United Cup as the number 2 player. So they only have one men's singles and one ladies singles in the mixed doubles. So Cam Norris is going to play the singles. Dan's there as the backup, so he can use that as training.
Got it.
Excuse me. And then his first tournament will be Adelaide, and then into the Australian Open. So from the rehab point of view, it's going to be conservatively aggressive, without going crazy, but with looking not just at the rehab, but sleeping well, eating well, supplementation well, is all going to have the added benefits to his recovery. So he'll come back stronger and better than he was before.
Cool. Were there any warning signs in the days or even hours before? Did Dan say he felt something a bit tight before the match, for example?
No, the warm up was like we've done all year. It just there was nothing changed. And if you actually look at the video footage, it was a slight drop step with the right foot, and it wasn't a ballistic explosive push off. And it was just the angle of push off, and he said it felt like he had been hit in the back of the leg with a ball, hard. And when he did it, he looked around to see if he had been hit.
Yeah.
And the pathology is called tennis leg. It's actually called tennis leg, which is when you do the medial gastroc head. And it's if you Google it, that's the injury he's got. But he hasn't just done the gastroc; he's done the tendon. And so what's happened is the actual calf muscle has cramped and gone up his leg. So
Got it.
It's in spasm. It's gone up, so it's got to relax back down. So up until yesterday, he still couldn't weight bear, but every day it's getting better and better. So when we meet with the sports doc on Tuesday, it'll be a week. He'll have another ultrasound scan on Tuesday, just to see if there's anything more sinister in there that they can pick up other than on the MRI scan, and then get to work.
Well, Kieron, thanks for joining us today on Talking Tennis, and fingers crossed for a healthy and speedy recovery. And we look forward to seeing Dan in the new year.
Thank you very much for having me, and best of luck.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.